FA Cup final, and Hatchin! What a magnificent goal!
Good morning and welcome to All Things Sky Blue match preview against Norwich City at the CBS Arena on Saturday. Before I bring my guest in, Jez, just remember where you can find us. We are available on X, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram and YouTube. If you do watch us, please go and like and subscribe. If you listen to us on a podcast, which are available as well, please go and rate us 5 stars. We're sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications. He can do your steel fabrication work up and down the country, but mainly in the Coventry and Warwickshire area. We're partnered with the Sky Blue Tavern and Dillon's Brewery, and we've also teamed up with Sports Social Podcast Network and Sky and Friends, a friendly dog walking and pet service. So without further ado, let me bring my guest in, Jez from Beyond the Barclay. Good evening, Jez. Well, good morning, Jez, I should say.
How are you, Stuart? Thanks for having me on again.
Thank you very much. Now, we will confess something. Because of tech issues and stuff, this is the third time of trying to get this preview sorted. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no issues for the rest of it. So thank you very much for joining us.
No, not at all. No, it's been a pleasure.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, will you just remind us what you guys do and where we can find you?
Yeah, so Beyond the Barclay is the podcast. We our main focus is fan journeys. So we focus on sort of past, present, and future Norwich City. We also talk to members of the club. So whether it be we had sporting director Stuart Webber on recently, some ex-players as well, and we also focus heavily on the women's game with our podcast or program, should I say, All in Yellow with Izzy Basie Fisher. Killian O'Grady wouldn't like it if I didn't mention him, so I've got to mention Killian, who is the guy that goes to all of the away games and interviews away fans as well. So, yeah, we've got a lot going on the channel, but we really enjoy it, and as you know, it's a really rewarding experience.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Right, so we haven't got the greatest history against you guys. I believe the last time that we won, we did the double in that season, which was the 08-09 season. Reason why I'm looking here is because my notes are here as well, so I'm looking at. But yeah, so we haven't got the greatest. I think in the last 12 games we've lost 9 and drew 3. Right. Most notably, the most annoying one was the game last season at Carrow Road, where we were 1-0 up until the 91st minute, and then 2 late goals, and our hearts just sank. A couple of silly mistakes in there as well. Now, you have changed managers. So just try to explain to us what Leon Manning's doing differently, whether it's better or for the worse than what Thorup did.
Yeah, I think, it feels like this is about the second or third time I've said this. So I think we got to this point in the car, didn't it? But anyway, Thorup, Thorup was, very inexperienced in the English game. I think it was a big gamble, but also a calculated one because of how well he'd done in Denmark. It's the early signs are quite good. I think we played quite nice, sort of attractive football. Wing backs were coming in to support the midfield, and it looked good. As always, certainly with Norwich, but I'm sure with other teams as well, injuries and suspensions played a massive part. I mean, Borja Sainz was suspended for 6 games. For an incident up at Sunderland, and that really had its effect. He got sacked, I think, sort of March, April time, probably April actually, because we had Jack Wiltshire for the last couple of games. Brought Manning in over the summer, as you said. I think it's fair to say, and I hope Bristol City fans don't mind me saying this, but I think he overachieved with Bristol City to get them to the playoffs. He knows the league. He knows English football. He's also had the experience of going to manage outside of England as well. And so, in terms of obviously his playing style, it's a little bit more direct than what I'd say a Thorup team produces. He has played 5 at the back in most of the games, which is frustrated some Norwich fans, and I think none more so than our game against Middlesbrough, where we conceded 2 late goals towards the end of the first half, and it killed the game. And he didn't really look like he was going to affect it. But away to Blackburn the last game, not last week because it was international last week, it looked a lot better, and he reverted back to the 4 at the back, and we played really well. And I think so in a nutshell, Stuart, I think he knows the league, and I think it's a lot more sort of direct to play under Manning.
Okay, fair enough. Now, obviously, we've played 4 games so far. Your home games, you have lost both. Away games, you've won both. So, what do you feel as a fan base that's happening sort of away from home, that's not happening at home, kind of thing?
It's a good question. I'll revert back to my previous answer with the 5 at the back. I think that if you set up like that away from home, it frustrates teams. When you're at home, you'll know. Don't need to tell you this, but you want to try and attack, and perhaps have a formation that suits that. But I think if you then go with 5 at the back and sit 11 men behind the ball and try and catch people on the counter away from home, that sometimes works. Or as Norwich have found this season, it's worked on both occasions. We've had in the away games, our new goalkeeper, I'm going to call him Big Bad Vlad because I don't know how to say his surname. He's certainly a character, and he saved the penalty. He saved the penalty against Portsmouth, and made a really good double save against Blackburn as well. So long story short, I think the way he sets his team up works better away from home than it does at home, and it just hasn't worked at home yet. So I think he needs to find that. He needs to find that balance, I guess. Yeah,
it's I do quite like Leon Manning. To be fair, I think he. Do you think that that's what he's been doing? Then has he been changing formations at home and away, or has he tried the same and it's just not happening at home?
So both home games we played 5 at the back, and at Portsmouth we did as well. He, as I said, he reverted to the back 4 against Blackburn. So he has got, he has noticed it hasn't worked, I guess, in the Middlesbrough game, and thought, right, okay, well, let's try something different. I think he's had the personnel to do that as well. With Kenny McLean coming back in the team, he makes a massive difference for us. Even at the age that he is, he's still a key player for us. We seem to do a lot better in the team with Kenny in the team than without. And so I think he's a big reason we got. Not a big reason we got the result at Blackburn. There was other players around him that played really well as well. I mean, Harry Darling is an absolute find from Swansea.
So obviously I was going to go on to the transfer. Sorry to interrupt.
Right, that's fine.
Obviously, you had quite a busy one, really, compared to us anyway. We didn't have a particularly busy one. 14 in, 16 out. You mentioned Harry Darling there. A couple of notables that I wrote down anyway is Marco Topic. I think we were linked with him a couple of seasons ago. And Jeffrey Schlupp, who, again, last season, I think last January, when we bought Matty Grimes in, we were kind of linked with Jeffrey Schlupp as well. How have they settled in? Have they done okay? And the ones that you've lost, again, most notable, Jonathan Rowe, Boyjusais, Nunes and Handes, have they been missed? Obviously, I think personally your biggest achievement was keeping Sargent for me, because he's a brilliant player. He was linked with us. I didn't see it ever happening, if I'm honest, but we were linked with him just because of the American factor. If Hadji Wright had went, maybe Sargent could have come in and replaced him potentially. I think he's on to bigger and better things eventually anyway. I think he will be in the Premier League. So in terms of them players, have they settled in well, and are you missing any of the ones that have gone?
Just to touch on Sargent, I completely agree. I think he's done the right thing in staying at Norwich. I think he's going to hopefully have this is the thing with Sargent, he'll go down injured, and he's done that the last 2 or 3 seasons. So hopefully he stays fit, can score a lot of goals for us and move on. And with our blessing, I think at the end of the season, unless we somehow get promoted, but go and have a really good World Cup, and that will increase his value. But no, in terms of the other players, Mirko Topic, you mentioned. Just still needs a little bit of time to adapt to the English game. A very, very strong midfielder. not afraid to tackle, not afraid to mix it up. We seem to have improved the spine of the team. So as you mentioned, we've already talked about Harry Darling. Got a lad called Jakov Medic, who we brought from Ajax, and he's about 6'7", or at least he seems it, and about the same as wide. He is, but he's an absolute brute. He needs, again, probably someone that just needs to adapt to the English game a little bit more. You mentioned Jeffrey Schlupp. He hasn't really settled yet, and I don't know if he's had much of a pre-season. Okay. You can tell there's a talented player there and a player that's played in the Premier League, and I just hope that I hope he kicks on, because at the moment he hasn't started as well as I think a lot of Norwich fans thought he might. We signed who else? Obviously the goalkeeper, who again, brilliant away from home, and he's made a couple of, not errors I'd say, but maybe goals that he might have saved. Got beat at the near post against Middlesbrough, for instance. Got a lad called Papa Diallo from Metz in France. He's diminutive winger, quite fast, quick, skillful. Once he settles, he'll be a good player. I mean, in terms of the ones that we've lost, we, as you said, we signed 14 players, and I could go through them all, but we'll be here for another 3 hours. I think the ones that we've lost, in terms of the ones we've lost, so Signs, Signs was great for 2 months for last season, and then the rest of the time either he was suspended or out. I don't think actually maybe he didn't get injured, but he was out suspended for quite a big period, and that when he came back, he wasn't the same player. So I'm not too disappointed about him leaving. Yeah, he's a great player on his day. Nunes went to Ipswich, which was, I think everyone was quite shocked about. But again, another player that only turns up 1 game out of every 3 and is injured for not 3/4, a third of the season. I think there was a stat where he'd only played 50% of the games or the game time that he could have played at Norwich. The rest of the time he was out injured or suspended. So yeah, I think it turned out that Nunes, obviously gone to Ipswich, and well, you don't join the rivals. You just don't do it.
No, you don't. No,
but yeah, Hernandez again. He was coming to the end of his time with Norwich, a good servant and someone that still was knocking around doing YouTube videos about things. So yeah, no, I think Johnny Rowe, you mentioned he went out on loan last season to Marseille.
Oh, okay.
So he's gone. He kicked up a stink the first game of last season against Oxford. Basically 2 hours before kickoff, decided he didn't want to play. So then he went to Marseille. Now he's at Bologna. Is that how you say it? In
Bologna.
Bologna. Thank you. Your Italian pronunciation's a lot better than mine.
Well, no.
But yeah, so no, all in all, it's I think we've shifted a lot of players out, talented players, don't get me wrong, but players that turn up once out of every 3 or 4 games. And we've actually made Ben Napper, who is our sporting director, has actually done really well in getting the transfer fees he's got again for those players.
Oh, fantastic! So it sounds good. Obviously, you have got again. I went on a couple of days ago, so things may have changed slightly since then. People may be back that you know of that I don't. Injuries-wise, Jack Stacey, Gabe Forsyth, Forson, Manova, and I think Jacob Wright is suspended, I believe, for this game. Are any of them close to coming back, or are they sort of out for this game, but close?
Stacey's back. I hadn't heard the press conference from yesterday, admittedly, but I saw a clip online. Stacey's back on the grass. I don't know if it'll be too soon for him. As you mentioned, Wright suspended. Mahovo came in for about 5 or 6 games last season. We brought him from Notts County. Looked really good actually. Okay. Fitted into that left back role really well. They did mention that he's close, but I don't know whether Coventry will be too close. Forson, who was the hero of our game last season. I don't know if Coventry fans would class him as a hero, but so he is he won't be back. He got injured. I think he ruptured his I can't even remember what the injury was, but it's a long term. I think it's groin or groin injury or something similar. So he'll be out for a while. Okay. But yeah, I can't remember if you mentioned anyone else. There isn't any other fresh injury concerns as far as I'm aware. Everyone's come back fit for international duty, which is always a good sign.
That is a very good sign. So, are there any... God, I've lost my train of thought now. Is there any questions that you've got for us, mate?
Yeah, so I saw the result against QPR the other week, which must have been absolutely fantastic. Was it that Coventry were exceptional that day, or was it that QPR weren't? You know, they just didn't turn up.
I'll go back to the Derby game where we beat them at Pride Park 5-3. We managed to get the record for the opening 4 games, I think it is, and we've scored. I think it was 14 goals, 12, 14 goals, something like that, which we needed to score 2 and we'd got the record, and that's what we did in our draw against Oxford. But the QPR game, I think for me, I'm not going to say it was a mixture of 2. QPR could have played a lot better, don't get me wrong. They were poor on the day, but we didn't let them play at all in that first half. The first half, I haven't seen us play that well in a long, long time. Probably the second half of Fulham, when we beat Fulham in their promotion year, and they had Mitrovic and they had some really, really good players. We went 1-0 down at half time, and we come out and we absolutely battered them second half, and we won 4-1, I think it was in the end.
Yeah.
But as a first half, I haven't seen them play that well in a long, long time. They were absolutely brilliant. They harassed. Everybody worked hard. Even I'm critical of Haji Wright. Anybody that listens to our podcast or just listens to me in general when I talk about Haji Wright, I do criticise him because I just expect more from him because he is a really talented player. And on his day, you know, we saw it last year against Sunderland at our place, and he scored a hat trick. He was absolutely immense that day, and a little bit. I don't want to say like Nunes or Hernandez where they turn up once in a blue moon. I think is a little bit better than that, and he turns up more often than that. So far, he's turned up pretty much, I think, maybe in every game. There might have been one game where he doesn't work hard enough, but he's getting that consistency in his game of working harder, and that's what I want to see because I think he's going to reap the rewards playing that number 9 role on his own. And he's made it his own so far. He's our top goal scorer, I think, on 5 goals. And I think he's got a couple of assists or maybe 1 assist within that as well.
Great.
But, yeah, I think, you know, we did slack off a little bit. There was about a 10-minute period where QPR came back into it. But we defended better. We still have, you know, all the goals that we've conceded so far, I think we've conceded 3. They've all been set pieces. It's all been silly set pieces that we're just not being awake for or being alive for. I think if we change that, it might be a lot better. But look, you know, as I've mentioned already, Sargent is a really good player. We try and play the offside trap. Sometimes a little bit too much. We can get caught out. Rushworth started the season okay in goal for us. He has had a few disappointing games, if you like. I think he can do better, but he's a good shot stopper. So if we can keep your ranges to the edge of the area or, you know, definitely outside the box, then I think we might be okay. But if you get inside the box or on set pieces as well, if you've watched us, you know, if your managers and set piece coaches have watched Coventry, that you'll know that we're vulnerable there. But we've got to make sure that we're a lot tighter. We did get Wolfenden in the transfer window, so it's a question of if he starts, who he comes in for. I believe he can play on either side, so it will be interesting to see who he actually goes for in that centre half berth with either Kitchen or Thomas. So that will be interesting as well.
Brilliant.
But apart from that, I think, you know, we let Sheaf go. I think it was the right call personally, especially if you're going to bring in Kai Andrews, who's coming up through the youth. You know, there's big hopes for him. He's making the squad a little bit more now. So I don't think he'll start because Torp, Rodoni and Grimes at the moment are arguably probably one of the top 5 in the championship for a midfield trio. So, you know, we know what Rodoni can do on his day. Torp has stepped up massively and Grimes is just the anchor that is ever touch wood. I've got to touch wood because without Sheaf being there, that's my only concern in letting Sheaf go. I think it was right, but in letting Sheaf go, I think if Grimes does get injured or does miss a game, it's who you're going to put in that position.
Right.
I think Latty could play in that position. He's not as good as Grimes, don't get me wrong, but Latty's just coming back from injury as well. So there are question marks still, but I think in terms of our general side, you know who's going to start, you know how we're going to set up, and it's just whether you can stop us. If you play a back five, and if we're putting pressure on, then can we break that back five down? Jack Stacey, I remember Jack Stacey at our place last season, and he had so much space. It was unreal. I think De Silva, who plays, who I think was on that side, has got better this season. He didn't play for Wales. He come back from international duty with a little bit of a knock. I think he'll be okay, but we have got Brow. We haven't seen much of Brow yet either. So that will be interesting. But Stacey being out, I think for me is a plus because I think he is a danger man on that side as well. But we managed to keep Milan, keep Radoni, keep Hadji. So the window in general has been okay. But I've sidetracked slightly.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
But going back to that game, I think if we play like that against most teams, I think we'll stand a good chance. And you've got to win your home games. Look, I've always said it. You win your home games, draw your away games, you'll be somewhere close. It's just trying to tick them points over if we can. So we've got a draw against Oxford in our last game. Not the best, so I do expect, especially being at home, a better performance. So hopefully it should be a good game. But hopefully we'll see a winner and we can eventually win and beat Norwich. We've got a couple of bogey teams. Preston, we beat them at our place last year. We need to beat them at Deepdale, but you guys as well are a little bit of a bogey side. So hopefully we can get revenge for your place last season as well.
Yeah.
Going into predictions then, what's your prediction for this game?
Just after the international break, I think it'll be a draw. I think 2-2. So I think, obviously, as you say, with your high scoring start to the season, Josh Sargent 6 in 5 games, so I think he'll score. I think it'll be 2-2.
Okay, fair enough. Obviously, we've got 2 Americans starting up front for us. You've got Sargent, we've got Hadji. Hadji didn't go. He wasn't selected for the USA side, but Sargent was. Did he play any minutes?
I actually watched the career game.
Did you?
It was our time, 10 o'clock kickoff in the evening. It's a friendly match where they had fireworks going off in the background. Typical sort of American bravado might be the wrong word to use, but it was sort of like, the American national anthem and all these fireworks going off in the background. And I was thinking, this is a friendly. Imagine what it's going to be like in the World Cup. He started that game. I think he was really isolated with who he had with him. Playing with the likes of Weah and Pulisic. Basically, USA's tactic is get the ball to Pulisic. That's
okay.
You can't operate like that. Obviously, Korea did a job on him. To be fair, so Son scored, but so he didn't play in the last game. No, I was going to say he didn't play the last game, which was against Japan, I think. So that was good for us because he didn't play, he didn't get a chance to get injured. So yeah, long answer short, he played about 80 minutes. First game.
Okay, cool, not a problem. So hopefully he comes back a little bit jet lagged and just quite isn't on it for our game on Saturday. But look, I do expect big things from Hadji, so we've got that. Okay. Going hopefully for us as well. I'm gonna go and say that we're just gonna edge it. At home, we're a different beast, I think now. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win just because I think we owe you one from last season at your place as well, really. Because we did. I think we were slightly the better side. I know the stats will point to you. I think if I remember rightly,
I think you're much the better side for the majority of the game, and then all of a sudden, whatever happened. I think Amanka Forsen turned into sort of prime Messi, to be honest. And the first goal just come out of absolutely nowhere, and the second goal he was just in the right place at the right time. But I think Coventry were exceptional the whole game, and I remember Frank Lampard's interview afterwards, and he was seething. I mean, quite honestly, I would be if it was me. But yeah, no, I think you were the better side that game, 100%.
Yeah, like I said, I am going to go for a 2-1 Cov win. I think you could be right, though. I think it might be a bit of a draw after the international break. Maybe both teams are a little bit sluggish. We didn't have many that went away on international duty, to be fair. Like you said, De Silva come back. Kai Andrews away with Wales. Wright didn't go. Latter's still carrying that injury, so he weren't away with Jamaica. But so I think we might be okay, and I think we might just edge it for that reason, really. So, any other questions for us, Jez?
Just one more. So, obviously, I've had the links with Frank Lampard potentially going to West Ham because obviously their start to the season's been poor. What would it, from a sort of a Coventry standpoint? What? I mean, obviously, you wouldn't want to lose him because I guess he's done all right. But what would your thoughts be on that?
To be fair, if anybody else was coming for him, I would bat it away straight away. Since he's a West Ham, I know he's a Chelsea boy, but he started his career at West Ham, and it's back in the Premier League, so I would be a little bit more concerned. I still don't think there's anything in it, personally. Potter's there at the moment. They tend to give their managers a bit more time. I think they gave Pellegrini time and eventually got rid of him. So I think at the moment, no. But if West Ham are in the same position come January, I might be a little bit more worried if rumours are circling again. At the moment, no. But I haven't heard or seen anything to state otherwise, really. I think Lampard hopefully is happy. Doug King's happy with him as well. We've started off the season. We've been ridiculed in the past for starting off the season slow. We haven't started off slow this season. We're still unbeaten. Drew 2, won 2. We've scored goals for fun. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully we can get a little bit more solid at the back and we can push on strength to strength. Now we are, people will argue that we should have won, all our opening games, should have beat Hull, really, and we should have beat Oxford, which is probably true. But when you look at it, we've won 2, we've played 2 away, we've won 2, so it's a little bit like that, really. But yeah, I don't see anything in it. I think it's fine. But like I said, if West Ham are still in the same position come January, I might be a little bit more worried that he actually goes because he can do something, or just before January, Christmas time, if we've gone off the rails slightly, maybe, if we've slipped out the top 6 and we're, about 12th, West Ham come in, with January as well, and he might be able to bring his own players in. I would be worried then for Radoni because he loves Radoni, maybe even a Torp. Money talks, doesn't it, at the end of the day? But I haven't really looked that much into it to see who could replace him. I'm not sure who I'd actually want. So, maybe if talks, again, like I said, around Christmas time, that West Ham are coming back in for him, then I might have to have a look to see who else is around to see who I'd want. But at the moment, no, I don't see him going anywhere. I think he's firmly feet with Coventry.
Excellent.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, as always, quick fire questions. One-worded answers if you can, but don't worry if it goes into a bit of a sentence or a bit of a ramble. That's fine as well.
I'll try.
So the first one is a player to look out for you guys for the season.
It's an easy option, isn't it? Sargent.
Okay, fair enough. Where will you finish?
4th.
Wow, okay. High expectations. Where will Cov finish?
5th.
Ooh, okay. Do we meet in the playoff final, do you reckon? And that's when we get our first win.
Hopefully not.
And one player from Coventry that you would take?
Oh, it's got to be right, isn't it?
Okay. Lovely. Right. Thank you very much for that, Jez. Much
No
appreciated.
worries.
We finally got it done after 3 attempts, but we finally got there. Just before I let you go, just remind us what you guys do and where we can find you.
Yep. So Beyond the Barclay, which is a Norwich City fan podcast. Podcast, brilliant. Norwich City podcast. We are, as I said, we're on all of the social media channels. So just search us Beyond the Barclay. You can watch the show thanks to Stuart's recommendations with the platform. You can now watch us on YouTube as well, when we use the same platform as Stuart does. So yeah, it's I've really enjoyed it. We're just coming up to our first birthday.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, we were at a women's press conference, Norwich City women's press conference earlier this week at Colney, the training ground. And I looked around the room thinking, why am I here? It's sort of pinch yourself moment, really. You know, sort of a few local celebrities of, you know, people that cover Norwich quite frequently, and no, it's great. It's great fun, and you know, thanks to everyone that either watches us or contributes. It means the world. So, and thank you, Stuart, for inviting me on again. It's been a pleasure.
No. Thank you very much for joining us. It's good to talk to you guys. Are you making the journey on Saturday?
I've already been to Coventry once this week.
Is that enough?
I don't know if I can do Coventry twice in a week, to be honest. Well, I live in Nebworth in Hertfordshire, so it's a little bit easier for me. But no, I'm not. My dearly beloved wife is off to Spain on Sunday morning, so
fair enough.
She is letting me watch it on TV, but not got the pass to go to Coventry again, I'm afraid.
Okay, not a problem. I was going to say if you was safe journey, but hopefully you're crying at home after we get the last minute winner like you did against us. So once again, yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. Just remember where you can find us as well, guys. We are available on X, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Please go and like and subscribe. We're also available on podcasts, so go and rate us 5 stars. We're sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications, and we're partnered with the Sky Blue Tavern and Dylan's Brewery. We're also teamed up with the Sports Social Network podcast and Sky and Friends dog walking and pet services. So thank you very much for that. On that note, play up Sky Blues.